Dr. Joe here. In late 2023, I made a single alteration to my diet. That single alteration that I made in late 2023 up until now has caused my cholesterol levels to go up. I'm going to share my data with you and also the alteration that I made and why that alteration has caused my cholesterol level to go up. All of that is coming up. But before we jump right in, a quick plug. This is my book on managing high blood pressure with lifestyle approach. This is the second edition of this very book. Please do get yourself a copy. Links to get a book right below this very video. How about we jump right in? So these are my blood lipid results for the year 2022. And as you can see here, my total cholesterol was 3.2 millimole per liter. The equivalent of that in milligram per deciliter is 123. Okay, so 123, and in millimole per liter, 3.2. Now I want you to pay attention to my LDL cholesterol. My LDL cholesterol in 2022 was 1.9 millimole per liter. The equivalent of that is 73. Okay, so 73 milligram per deciliter. Now, let's move on to the year 2023. These are my blood lipids for 2023. My total cholesterol was 3.3 millimole per liter. The equivalent of that is 127 milligram per deciliter. And then again, pay attention to my LDL cholesterol. It was 1.8 millimole per liter. The equivalent of that is 70 milligram per deciliter. So these, as you can see here, between 2022 and 2023, the results are almost practically the same. Okay, there's been no change, no shift at all, and I'm doing really well. So let's fast forward to 2025. What do you see here? Well, this was taken in July this year, 2025. Let's have a look at my total cholesterol, 3.8 millimole per liter. Okay, as you can see here, it's gone up. Okay, it was 3.3 here in 2023, 3.2 in 2022, and now in 2025 it is 3.8. The equivalent of that is 147 milligram per deciliter. Again, let's pay attention to my LDL cholesterol. It was 2.3 millimole per liter. In yesteryears, 2023, it was 1.8. In 2022, 1.9. So fairly stable in those 2 years. And this year is jumped up to 2.3 millimole per liter. The equivalent of that is 89. So what's changed? As you can see, there has been an upward trend in both my total cholesterol levels as well as my LDL cholesterol level. So what's changed? Okay, so before I tell you what has changed as far as my diet is concerned, I've got the data again displayed here on the whiteboard for you guys so you can appreciate the data a lot better. Now, I want you to pay attention to this column. This is the column for normal. So this row is for total cholesterol and this one is for LDL cholesterol. Okay? Now, for this very column, which is a normal column, we want your total cholesterol level to be less than 5 or less than 200 for those of you using milligram per deciliter. And your LDL, we will rather it is less than 2.5 millimole per liter, which is the equivalent of that is 100 milligram per deciliter. So this is what I want you to remember, okay? Very important in the sense that just remember 200 for total and then slash that by 2, okay? If you divide that by 2, that gives you the LDL, which is 100. And for us, using millimole per liter, it should be 5. Divide that by 2, 2.5, okay? But remember, it is less than. All of these data here, it should be less than 5, less than 2.5, less than 200, less than 100 for LDL, okay? I want you to remember that. So, this is the data I get on display here. My total cholesterol, 3.2, 3.3, fairly stable, 123, 127, fairly stable in the first 2 years. And then 2025 years gone up to 3.8, which is 147. And my LDL, this is the one that really you should pay attention to, because the LDL is what causes the mayhem, okay, to your arteries. So here we've got 1.9, 1.8, fairly stable. I've always loved that, and it's been like that for years. And this year now it's jumped up to 2.3, so 73, 70, now it's jumped up to 89. So I'm still within the normal range, okay? And that's okay, but I don't want it to go up any further. So, which brings me to, what I said earlier in the video, the alteration that I made to my diet. So around about late 2023, I noticed a nutritional deficiency, and what was clear to me was that the calcium that I was consuming was not being made bioavailable to me, okay, for absorption. So I noticed that nutritional deficiency, and I made this alteration to my diet. I added dairy, okay, and I started off with this Greek yogurt here. This is the low-fat Greek yogurt, and I consumed this from late 2023 into around about September 2024. But I noticed a trend, and the trend was that the flavor was getting sweeter and sweeter, and I realized that they were adding more sugar to the Greek yogurt, okay? And in fact, you can see here, it's got the amber sign there, the sugar content. So I didn't like that. I didn't want to be consuming sugar with my Greek yogurt. So I switched to this. Okay? This is a full-fat Greek yogurt. So this is the one that I've been consuming from around about September 2024 to the present day. And so full-fat, it tastes really good. But guess what? Because it is full fat, it's got plenty of saturated fat in it. So, saturated fat is really the main driver of cholesterol, okay? If you are eating foods that are high in saturated fat, expect your cholesterol levels to go up. Expect your LDL cholesterol levels to go up, because that's exactly what has happened to me here, okay, in this 2025. Because I started using full-fat Greek yogurt. In the previous years, when I wasn't consuming that, my cholesterol level, both the total cholesterol and the LDL, they were fairly stable, okay? Add a food with saturated fat, and what do you know? Levels go up, okay? Both the total and the LDL. So this is the point I'm trying to make in this very video. And that is the fact that saturated fat is the main driver of cholesterol. I'm going to do 2 videos on this very subject, the mechanism behind how saturated fat drives up your cholesterol levels, in particular the LDL. And also I'm going to talk about the foods that will potentially drive up your cholesterol levels too. Now, if you got a copy of this book, I've got a sub-chapter there on the food traffic light system. If you read that sub-chapter, you'll see what I mean, okay? It's all in here. So anyway, I wanted to do this video to really point out the fact that, if you're consuming lots of saturated fat, just like I did, expect your cholesterol levels to start trending up gradually. And I can guarantee that my LDL cholesterol level and, of course, my total cholesterol levels would have been a lot higher were it not for the fact that A, my diet is quite healthy, and B, that my diet is fairly loaded with what I would describe as cholesterol buffers. So, yeah, that's the point I wanted to make in this very video. So I'm hoping that you got some value from this very video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Please like the video, and also please share this video with your friends, family and colleagues. Questions, comments down below. That's it for this video. Until next time, well, this is Dr. Joe signing